committing fraud when they issue this warrant of execution. And there's several recordings where people have called up the bulk centre and the traffic enforcement centre and asked them, are they persuaded to law? And they go, yes, we are. Absolutely not. There's no judges, there's no magistrates there, there's no clerks of the justice, it's just a rubber stamping, there you go, that's it, you're done. This is why nobody will sign their warrants of execution. Bearing in mind this is for both council tax and these tickets, and the reason no one signs them, as I said earlier, would be because they would be liable and you can actually take them to court for committing fraud. What they do then is they then send you a threatening letter, we've got a warrant against you. That's a warrant of execution. What that means is they can come and knock on your door, please pay up. That's it. There's none of this pushing past you, breaking into your house. However, this is the thing you have to bear in mind, bailiffs that deal with this and council tax are private bailiffs. They have no power whatsoever. Absolutely none. Now a court bailiff, you'd think if this was issued by a court, they'd give it to a court bailiff, because a court bailiff does have certain powers. But they don't, they use a private bailiff, and that's because, as I said earlier, they commit fraud for council tax and parking tickets. For council tax, they hire the room at, I'll start off at the beginning with that, the court has an agreement with the council that it's too much paperwork for the court to issue all these summonses, so the council issues you the summons. Absolutely unlawful. They're not a court, but it looks real, but it's not. Then they hire the court out for the day and they pay the magistrates and the clerk of the justice. So it's a private administrative procedure that goes off, just like with parking tickets, except those magistrates aren't acting under their oath, they're acting private to them, so they can do anything you like. One of the things you should understand about them is that every offence, if they want to call it that, has to be dealt with singularly, individually. Now, I sat in court and watched the council tax one when they go, oh, we've got 247 thingies here, we'd like a order. They go, yeah, look, bang. Absolutely unlawful. They broke the civil procedure rules. So then they pass it on to a private bailiff. Why a private bailiff? As I mentioned earlier, it's because they're committing fraud. And a court bailiff would look at it, it's not signed, not touching it, not going nowhere, that's going to have me in trouble. This is why they give it to a private bailiff, for, like I say, parking tickets and council tax. Now, the only power they have is they can come to your house, they'll usually send you a threat letter first of all, asking you to pay. They can come to your house and if the door's unlocked, they can open it and walk in. So if you are going to go down this route of challenging your council tax or them, you need to be aware of what you're going to have to be ready to deal with. You need to keep your doors and windows locked because if they can walk in. If you're prepared to do that, as I am, what happens then? Right, let's see what happens then. Bailiff letters start arriving. This one's from the 7th, July. It's Equator, and you'll see, warrant of execution granted against you by the Traffic Enforcement Centre. Well, it's not a court. But of course, General Joe Public goes, oh yeah, must be, total. I may swear from time to time because I'm quite passionate about this, and if I do, I apologise in advance. This one is also the same month, but it's 2 weeks later. Auction notice. You're coming round to auction my property. Yeah, well, you never turned up. Removal notice. We're now into August. Removal notice. Now, before I go any further on this, you may be wondering why they never turned up. Well, for a start, I wrote a notice to them telling them if they continued trying to claim on this particular thing, they would be knowingly committing fraud. And if any of you want to come and look at these, you'll see the signatures on every single one, apart from 3 that I've got, are all signed bailiff manager. They don't want liability. Even these know that they're committing fraud. What I simply did, after writing a notice to them, pointing out their fraudulent manner, I also issued them a denial of access with a fee schedule. Now, I don't know if you know about denial of access, but if you haven't put a denial of access sign up or sent anyone to anyone, everybody has an implied right of access to your property. Once you issue a denial of access, the only people that are allowed to come to your property is the postman and someone coming up asking for directions. So, all these threatening notices, letters, and warning notice, what we're up to now? Oh, we're in September now. Removal of goods, still in September. Still September. just to take formal notice. Penalty charge notice. You do get. Oh, a scary one now. Bailiff removal. We'll be scared. Final notice. Well, I won't be getting any more then, will I? Final demand. Well, again, I'm getting no more now then. What are we up to there? We're in, still in September, the 29th, and, we're into November now. Same old rubbish that we sent earlier. Notice of intent, still in November. What are we up to? 15th of December, 24-hour removal notice. Now, I did get some delivered on the 23rd, and that was actually designed to upset my holiday. Well, when they came through the door, I laughed the whole day long. This was the latest one I got. This was the 1st of this, the 10th of this month, and it's a removal of goods. Now, I did get a separate letter at one point, which said, our removal team was in your area today, but there was no one home. Now, if ever you've dealt with any of these type of love-lacking beings, they are very careful. That type of notice, removal team has been in your area today, should be delivered by hand. And it states, we were in your area, but there was no... The problem is it was delivered by the postman, because nobody's prepared to step on the property, because it's not the company that I'll take to court for £5,000, it's whoever trespasses. Now, we changed our the name on the car. It was in our name. We changed it to the family name. So it was the family name, Salon Family Trust. You can have great fun with this. You can register it anywhere you like. You can register it at a PO box. A friend in Nottingham's done exactly that. They've put it into it. The actual car is in the trust, and it's in another trust which is actually registered up in Manchester, and of course we're down in Nottingham. So you've got two trusts to try and get through before you get anywhere. Anyway, I got this one. First letter I got was had a bailiff's name on a number. I called him up, asking a few questions. You know, who's he after? Oh, I'm after. What's it say letter? Oh, Salon Family Trust. Okay. Well, who committed the offence? Don't know. All right. Who's going to pay? No one. Oh. By the way, has your office told you that I've issued a denial of access with a £5,000 fee schedule? No, they haven't. Oh, just for your own, because obviously I don't want to cause you any harm or loss. I get a letter a few days later. Bailiff manager. He's backed off. I ain't going nowhere near it. This is all I'm showing you is the power of a denial of access. Just to show you that I'm not joking when I've had a few letters. These are all bailiff letters. I only opened the first one, and the rest are all the same.
So you deregistered your vehicle?
No, I didn't deregister it. I simply changed the owner. Where it was in my name, it's now in my name, Family Trust. And you can do that, just fill out the V5, do that, it's in the Family Trust. So, think of it like this now. These are looking, I even said, I played by their rules. What person are you looking for? What's it say on the left? Well, who did the effect? I don't know. Who's going to pay? No one. You can see he's going nowhere. Where can he go? How can he take a family trust to court? The answer is he can't. It's always good to have a trust as well, not as well as naming it, have it a trust, a private trust, which you need to look into to find out about, but they are very, very powerful. And then, when it's put into a separate trust, I don't know if you know much about our illustrious leader from the past, Tony Blair. When he left office, he was worth over £1 billion. And a lot of people were interested to find out where he got that money. I don't know if you also know that Tony Blair was a lawyer as well, and he actually dealt with this type of thing, trust type of thing. They could find nothing on him because everything he has is in a trust, which is in a trust, which is in a trust, and you cannot get past a trust. If anyone writes to you, says, well, your family trust, yeah, we want to come and have a word with you. I'm sorry. The trust only meets once a year. Send a message and I'll bring it up at the next meeting and we'll discuss whether we're going to deal with you or not. What are they going to do? There's nothing they can do. Any questions on that before we move on?
Where can we find out more about that?
About?
Family trusts.
There's a number of guys I know that are working on templates at the moment. As soon as they're available and checked, because it's very important that we check first, they will be made available to anyone to use. But in the meantime, you can do your own research into them. Trusting, if you can get trust, that is the most strongest defence you will ever have. And if it's a trust in a trust, they might as well wave bye-bye. You can put your house in a trust, you can put your property in a trust, and then you can put that in another trust.
Mark, we've got Sarah and Leosia and Michael Benicia coming in a few weeks to do a talk on exactly that.
Yes, yeah. You should all attend that one.
Excuse me, can you put
And they're the
savings into a trust?
Sorry?
Can you put, if you've got savings in the bank, you don't want to keep it in the bank, can you put that into a trust?
You can put anything in a trust.
I've got a few premium bonds, would I be better putting them in a trust than dealing as premium bonds?
I can't make your decision for you. That's your choice. All I can do is share the information I know. What you do with that particular thing, that would be your choice. But yes, anything can be put into trust.
Denial of access, where do you find more?
There's one on the site. Does it have a fee schedule?
I can't remember. If it hasn't, it will have.
But I'll say
It should have, yeah.
if there's one on the site on the front page. If it's not got the fee schedule, because you can always contact me, or I'll be sending John a copy and he can get one.
Mark, going back to the penalty notice as regards of parking, does that also apply to the cameras taking your photograph if you go in a bus lane?
Yes, that's the one that we got for Family Trust was exactly that. Someone that was using the car doesn't like town, decided to drive down a tram track because she knew that was where she wanted to go, and well, snap there. And that was the Family Trust one, which was awesome. It was very much fun. Any more before I move on?
Just ask, do you know anything about a while back that if you could register the place you live as a church, or you can register onto the
Don't know anything
charity?
about that.
Do you know anything about that?
No.
Pay certain taxes or something.
No. Trust is the way to go. If you get your property in a trust, it is untouchable. But you have to make sure you do it right. And that's what there's loads looking at it at the moment, all working on it and seeing which is the best method to come up with. So I'll quickly actually move on.
Do you need more than one person in a trust?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ideally, now this is the part that's just newly come. This is like new information this week, and we're only on Wednesday. Ideally, 15 people. Now don't take this because this is brand new information. 15 people, because if you ever get taken to court, you have your own jury there. It's a trust situation, you have your own jury, you can dismiss the judge if you want to. If there is a jury over there, you can dismiss them because you've got your own jury to deal with your trust. It's nothing to do with them, it's your trust. But having said that, yeah, just a small family trust, 4 or 5 members is fine as well. It's just if you're getting deeper into stuff that you go down that far. Now these are the things I've dealt with. Vanquis. Oh, there's the Equita one, I think, or one of the Equita ones. There's the other Equita one. Virgin. Well, I won't tell you about them because they're just idiots. This is the one I want to tell you about. This is from Orange Mobiles. Buchanan, Clark and Wells are chasing 255 quid. So I send letter 1 and letter 2. They respond. Yeah, they responded okay. Letter 3. They responded still. So I build them. Now you notice these stamps and thumbprints and writing all over them. You don't have to worry about that. If it starts off with, just use the letters off the side, get you grounded with them. Then, when you feel, I want this more secure, I want it more powerful, that's when you can look at this. Or what this does, it makes you the postmaster. Right, so if you ever went to court, say this was your letter there, this was what a judge could do. I see nothing of relevance. He could even put it down that way and look in between the lines. No, I see nothing of importance here. Because he's in charge, you see. Doing that makes you in charge. You're the postmaster. Postal law is above statute law. A judge dare not mess with postal law. So that's for you in the future. Don't worry about it now, just do the letters. One thing I would say, John said, go on the site, get the letters. Most important thing you can do is read the letters, because so many go there, put their information, send it off, and then they'll get a letter back. Like I showed you there, I got letters back. Now I know that they're never going to give me what we asked for. So, but if you get that and you don't know that, they're going to go, you're going to go, oh, I've got this, what do I do? The simple answer is, you're going to ask them for a few details, like a signed contract, a signed invoice, signed by both parties, the contract.
They sent me an invoice, but it wasn't signed.
Yeah, well, they won't do. Again, why not? They're never going to give you what you ask for, because it doesn't exist. But let me just finish. I do tend to get sidetracked, and again, any short questions? Yeah, but I'll try not to sidetrack you too much. So, I've billed them, and I got another letter, and another letter, and another letter. Oh, wait a minute. What's happened here then? This has changed companies. It's gone from Buchanan, Clark and Wells to Jeffrey Parker Bond Solicitors. So it's the solicitors dealing with it now. That's got to be scary now then, because it can't be as easy to get rid of them, can it? Well, letter 1, letter 2. Oh, got a letter from them. What does it say? This is solicitors, bearing in mind. I'll miss out the thank you and all that stuff. The papers relating to this matter are currently with our clients, Debt Recovery Agents, BCW PLC. And we are referring your letter to them. I've only sent them one letter, and they're already referring my letter to them. So, please contact our client directly, Buchanan, Clark and Wells. The thing to remember, once you start the letter routine, whoever you start it with, you continue it with that thing. What they'll do is they'll send different people to deal with you. Ignore whoever they send, you always keep to who you start with. So, letter 3 went to them, and I got another letter from them. So this is letter, this one. Again. We wrote to you on the 21st of April, previous one I showed you. Copy attached. Just in case I lost it, or it didn't make it to me. To explain that we are currently not instructed in this matter. Well, wait a minute, this is solicitors. I must be doing something wrong, because these solicitors have just said, no, we don't want to touch it. Or I'm doing something right. Well, one of the things that people ask, or one of the common things that people say actually is, well, you borrowed the money, you should pay it back. Well, that would be true if you had actually borrowed the money. John covered it briefly, I'll just go through this, then it changes to NCO, another debt collector, blah, blah, blah. Then it changes to Scott call, letter, Scott call, final letter. That was sent on the 23rd of September. Nobody's contacted me since on this. Right. Why don't you owe them anything? You go to a bank and want to borrow £10,000. So they'll get an agreement out. So they go, yeah, sure, fill that out. You go, blah, blah, blah. It's got £10,000 on it in writing, got 10,000 numbers, the usual stuff. And then you sign it. At that point, when you sign that agreement, it changes from a loan agreement to a promissory note. It is worth that amount on there. Now, this is why they use an agreement and not a contract. If they used a contract, they would have to tell you, when you sign that, you're actually creating £10,000. This is why you're not borrowing anything, because you actually create it. Now, and if you want to test this, by all means do. Go to your bank. If you've had a loan for 3-4 months, ask to see the original agreement. I guarantee you they'll have lost it, misplaced it, can't find it. They haven't done any of that.
Sold it.
They've sold it. They've sold it on to other banks. And so, they've sold your £10,000, probably for more. And some suggest a lot more. I haven't seen the evidence of that, so I'm just leaving it at 10,000 for the time being. They sold it for £10,000. So they've got the £10,000 that you created, they then lend it to you. That's good of them. They've lent you your £10,000. Then they want you to pay it back, plus interest. Well, John covered the interest side of things earlier, but it was your money in the first place. This is why we ask for a contract, because if it's a contract, they've got to say, well, yeah, you just created a promissory note now that we're going to sell on and, you know, con you out of that you pretend you actually didn't create it, pretending we lent it you. If it was all fair and they told you that, you'd go, no. If I've just created £10,000, I'll tell you what, I'll give you £100 for monetarising it and give me the 9,900. Well, that's fair, because that's what really happens. But they don't tell you that. Right. Do you understand how or what we ask for?
I don't.
Right,
I'm totally baffled by that, to be honest.
I'll see if I can find one. Little one. Right, the first thing on here is this first paragraph. Very important, read that. It basically covers protection from harassment, the particular sections and that type of thing. What you're saying is, I want to deal with this matter in writing only. Now, most debt collection companies only have a licence to contact you by phone or writing. Now, they'll definitely put on their thing, an agent will call, it will be calling such and such a date. 9 times out of 10, they won't. If they do, what are you going to do? Yeah, I'm for BCW Group. You've got a debt. Yeah, have I? Yeah, look, it's here. No, it's doing me, mate. That's it. There's nothing to fear from them. But if you ever get that, and you fear that you're not knowledgeable enough to deal with them, then I'll have access straight off to them. They won't be a step on your property. I did this with the TV licensing. If you go on my YouTube channel, you can see the clips of what happened. I dealt with the census people, the voters registered people, TV licensing, all there. I can tell you the TV licensing because it was so quick. This is when I was having fun, and then I got bored, so I decided to stop it. Come to the door, always with a camera. Always have a camera with you. It shits them up no end. It really does. So, at the door, and he's like this. You got a problem? No. Well, you're filming there. Well, you see that notice in the window? It's a notice. Video and audio recorder at all time. Oh, right, yeah, well, anyway, I'm from TV licensing. Oh, good for you. Have you got a TV? What's it got to do with you? Oh, nothing, really. You're going to be like that, aren't you?